Hi, this is Mike Woods, Director of the Special Friends Ministry at First Baptist Orlando. Welcome to another on-demand training module. In this module, we're going to talk about the process of relational development that we use in our classrooms with our children with special needs within our Special Friends Ministry. And in our ministry, we talk about something called C cubed. That's the process of developing relationships with our learners. And C cubed is just basically stands for comfort, confirm, and challenge. Our Special Friends Ministry Children's Life Group seeks to build relationships. And in the process of doing that, then, we seek to accomplish three things with each child that we have in our Children's Life Group. The first is to provide comfort. We strive to create a classroom in which our children feel safe and comfortable and welcomed. We seek to confirm value. In other words, we want to show the children that we love them and that we accept them just as they are. And then we seek to challenge them in our relationships. That is, to help them to grow in the knowledge of Jesus and His love for them. And so our Special Friends Ministry Children's Life Group is a place where members comfort, confirm, and challenge one another in the process of developing relationships. And the order of these verbs is critical because I believe that their placement reveals our primary and our secondary goal of our Special Friends Children's Life Group, as well as the hypothesized sequence of relationship development. And so in this particular module, we're going to focus on how to develop comfort with our learners. Sometimes a child who has special needs will have developed an anxiety for the presence of others and might find it scary when we try to make deeper contact in the process of trying to develop a relationship with him or her. And as long as our contacts are functional, the child may be able to handle those, but when we try to make contact with his or her heart, this can cause some insecurities. And so if we want to teach the child to feel safe and comfortable and connected with us, we have to find a way to make contact from our heart to theirs, because only then can we develop and create the foundation for his further development from within. The circle represents the child with special needs, and the circle around him or her is the space from which we cannot enter without evoking some type of fear or anxiety. And the circle on the right represents the adult. The circle around the heart of the adult may not be a circle of anxiety, but oftentimes it represents that mental space which makes it difficult to really make contact with the child from out of our heart. This space is caused by judgments over the child or his or her behaviors, by negative experiences in the past, fear of the future, etc. And this puzzle at the bottom represents any activity that you can do together with the child. It could be a puzzle. It could be an art or craft activity. It could be pretend play. It could be bouncing a ball back and forth. This puzzle represents any activity that you can do with the child and which gives you the opportunity to come close to him or her and make functional contact. To make real contact, to start developing a friendship and making real contact from heart to heart, you have to be able to do two things. First, you have to be able to open your own mental space. And you do this by letting go of any negative thoughts or ideas, real or preconceived, about the child, and start to focus on his feelings and the emotional support that he needs from you. Like Philippians 2:4 says, look not only to your own interest, but also to the interest of others. And so the way to get out of this potential negative mental space is to open your space and your heart, and you do that not by focusing on yourself and your thoughts or feelings, but focusing on the feelings and the emotional support that the child needs. And it's in that way that you can start moving towards him or her and developing a real friendship. The second thing that you want to do is to let go of your attention to the activity. And from your heart, start moving emotionally towards the child. And again, what I mean by this is focus on the child's feelings and the support that the child needs. And the intention when you do this is to make real contact from your heart to his or hers. But there's one important rule. As soon as one of the two of you starts to feel insecure, and a lot of times that's the child, once you start sensing that the child is starting to feel a little anxious or insecure, you're going to want to move back away from the child and then continue with the activity for a while. The activity is the safe area. When you start to sense that the child is feeling relaxed again, you want to move back in. Take your focus off the activity, moving back in closer to the child, and focusing on his or her feelings and the support that he or she needs. And each time that you try to move back in, you want to try to stay for longer and longer periods of time in closer physical proximity and connection. And then when you sense that the child is feeling anxious again, you want to move slightly further away and then focus your attention back on the activity and that interaction. And so it's kind of like this back and forth dance. You're moving closer when you sense that there's no anxiety or fear, attempting to focus on the child and establish a connection. And then when you sense that there's some anxiety, you're going to move slightly further away, return your focus back on the activity, and try to get the child focused on the activity also. And remember, you can use all kinds of activities. The most important criteria for choosing an activity is basically that it's an activity that the child already knows how to do. It's an activity which doesn't ask for much concentration from the child, and it's an activity that you can easily interrupt to make brief moments of contact. And so it's important to train yourself in this technique of developing comfort with a child with special needs. You know, a lot of times we're not used to making real contact during the activities that we do with children with special needs, because usually our focus is always on the activity itself and not the child. And in that sense, you can be doing something together for 30 minutes without any real contact. You're just involved in the same activity at the same time, and that's all that ever happens. This idea of developing comfort and the techniques that I've discussed is the foundation for starting to develop connection from one heart to another, the process of developing a relationship and eventually a friendship that you can have with that child on a regular basis.